Hello everybody, this is the All-American Tech Guy here, and you were fortunate enough to see my first video today. So I'm going to discuss installing Windows 10. I'm going to use a virtual machine, but you can easily do this on real hardware. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to discuss what's going on here so you're prepared for what's happening. So this video is for educational and instructional purposes. I will not be held responsible for any actions you take on your own equipment. So what you do on your own equipment is obviously what you want to do with it. Maybe the outcome may not be what you want, but my suggestion is if you haven't done this before, I'm assuming that's why you're watching this video, take your time, do some education, do some research, and you can even download the same virtual machine software that I have and do it yourself, just like I'm doing in this video. But if you do plan on doing it on real hardware, this is destructive to the data on your hard drive. So make sure you back up your hard drive, download any drivers you may need, because there is a chance Windows 10 may not automatically install your wireless card driver or your Ethernet card driver, so you may have to load those in manually, which is outside the scope of this video, but maybe later on in the future I will post a video how to install the drivers. But for what we're discussing today is we're just going to install Windows. Okay, so we covered back up your data, and we also covered the drivers. And this is like a low, medium difficulty level. So it's a little bit more advanced than what an average person would do on a computer, because it does involve wiping out the data, reformatting the hard drive, and reinstalling the operating system. So first thing you want to do is you have to download your ISO image. Once you have your ISO image, you can then either burn it to a CD, or you can write it to a USB flash drive, and you can boot off of a USB flash drive. And then we're going to discuss setting up the virtual machine, which is not, you can skip this step if you're installing it on real hardware. And then we're going to go right to the starting the Windows installation. And we'll also talk about some performance tweaks as well. But they're not necessary, but if you want to make your operating system run a little better, a little quicker, I'll show you some tricks. So without further ado, I'm going to show you how to download the Windows ISO file. Okay, so first thing, you want to use your whatever search engine you prefer to use, and let's go to let's search Windows 10 Media Creation Tool. Can't type. Okay, so usually it's going to be the first link, but you want to make sure you click on a Microsoft link, because you can easily click the wrong thing and download the wrong file, and of course we don't want you to do that. So then you're going to come to this page. If you're doing this on a Windows machine, it'll ask you if you want to download Windows 10 Media Creation Tool. And basically it's an exe file that'll run, and it'll either generate an ISO file for you, or if you have a blank USB flash drive or one that you want to erase, you can plug that in and write the Windows install files to a flash drive. And then you can boot into the boot up with the flash drive, which is quicker than the CD. But if you want something simple, just you have a spare CD, just burn it to a CD. But since I'm using Linux, the website does not give me that option. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select the edition of Windows. So right now we're dealing with Windows 10 October 2020 update. So we're going to click on Windows 10, we're going to click confirm, and then it's going to ask you what language you want to use. Of course, we're going to choose English, but if you prefer another language, this is where you would choose it. And then once you click confirm, it'll start to download. Download does take some time, but I already did that for you, so you don't have to wait around for it. So now I can close out the I'll close out the site, and we can close this out. And let's go to VirtualBox. Now this is the part that's only on the software. If you're dealing with the real machine, you can skip this part. So we're going to click New, and I'm going to call it Windows 10. Good name for it, right? And I'm going to click on Next. I'm not going to do expert mode because I want to try to keep this simple. This is where you allocate the RAM. Now the RAM, it can't go greater than the RAM that's in your computer, plus you need some for your operating system, but I think for Windows 10, 2 gigs is a little wimpy. So let's do 4 gigs. And of course we have to create a virtual hard drive. But the virtual hard drive in the real world scenario would be your physical hard drive. Okay, VDI is fine. Fixed is faster, but it takes a long time to format, so we're going to go with dynamically allocated. And 50 gigs is fine. And if you want to note the virtual hard drive file location, that's where you'd find it. Okay, so now we have a new machine that's powered off. Okay, we're going to go to adjust some settings here. Alright, processor, let's give this 6 CPUs. Okay, display. Okay, that's correct. Sometimes VirtualBox will default it to the lowest setting possible, and I'll be honest, it runs like crap. So just bump this up to 128. Save yourself a lot of headaches. Okay, so for storage, we have Windows 10, and then we have an empty CD drive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount that image that I downloaded. So I'm going to go to choose a disk file. Let's go to users. We're going to go to downloads, Windows 10. Okay, audio, that's fine. Network. NAT mode is basically emulates a router within your computer, but that's outside of the scope of this video. But we're going to stick with NAT just for now. Okay, so all the settings are correct. Yep, so that's all good. We don't need disk encryption or anything. So now we're going to go ahead and boot up the machine. So on a physical machine, they have what's called a BIOS. It stands for Basic Input Output System. And you have to press a function key on your keyboard as your computer is turning on to enter the BIOS. And that's where you can tell your computer to boot from either the CD drive or the USB flash drive. Because if you don't set that up, it's just going to try to boot into your hard drive, which already has the existing operating system. Alright, so we're going to start the machine up. Okay, they want to select the image again, so let's hit start. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you boot from the CD for the first time. Now, because this is a fresh new machine, it booted right away. But if you have a machine with an existing operating system, it's going to say press any key to continue, and then you're going to have to press a button right away within like 5 seconds to boot off the CD or flash drive. Alright, so now they're going to ask you for your language, your time, currency format. So anyway, you just answer that whatever you want it to be. Now we're going to click on Install Now, since there's nothing else to click on at that point. So now it says Setup is starting. This is where you would type in your Windows license. It's a 25-character key. You can enter in either a Windows 10 license. If you happen to have a Windows 8 or a Windows 7, they still do the upgrade to Windows 10 option. So that's available for you as well. And it'll automatically detect whether it's 10 Home or 10 Pro. So, but for this video, I'm going to click I don't have a product key. And you can do this as well, and you can always enter one in later. Okay, because I didn't choose one, I have to choose which operating system. Home and Pro are about the same, but Pro does have a couple extra questions. So I'm going to go with Pro. That way, it covers all the questions that you'll see with both operating systems. Or both versions, I should say. Of course, Microsoft wants you to agree to the agreement. So you can sit there and read it if you want. But let's go ahead and accept it. Okay. I never click Upgrade. I've never clicked that before. We're going to go with Custom. Okay, because this is a new new virtual machine, it's like putting a brand new hard drive in. There's no operating system. So this is where you would have to delete your old partitions. All you do is you'd click on each partition and then you click delete. There might be 3 or 4 of them in there. And keep in mind, when you're deleting your partitions, this is the point of no return for your data. So once you delete that partition, whatever data is on the hard drive is gone. So you still have a chance to back out. But since we don't need to back out, we're going to go ahead and create a new partition. So we have the little new icon in the corner here. And if you do nothing, it'll use the maximum size of the hard drive, which is 51 gigabytes. So click Apply. And it's going to say we're going to make a couple extra partitions, like for the boot sector and things like that. So now you'll see your boot partition and the operating system partition. So we're going to click Next, and that'll start the Windows installation. So this is where you take a break, you go get something to eat, come back in a half hour or so, and then everything will be, maybe it'll be waiting for you at that point when you get back, because this does take some time. So, but this one shouldn't take too long because we do have a solid state hard drive in this computer, and it's a pretty, it's not the latest technology, but it's a pretty decent computer what we're working with here. So I'm just gonna let the video roll because it seems to be going pretty quick. But if you're dealing with a mechanical drive or some older hardware, it may take like a couple hours or so. Average is usually within 1 hour. And as far as downloading the drivers, I can discuss that now while we're waiting. If you have a brand name computer such as a Dell or an HP, Acer, Lenovo, they're very easy to get the drivers because you just go to the website, you punch in your model number, and it gives you a list of the drivers. And all you really have to do is download the Ethernet card driver if you're using a hardwired internet connection. Or if you're using wireless, you would just download the wireless card driver. But it can't hurt to download them both in case the wireless doesn't work and you have to go plug it into an Ethernet cable in the back of your router. You have that option too. But it's very rare that you'll have to do that because Windows 10 includes a lot of the drivers for you already. But if you have a newer computer where the driver hasn't been pre-installed with Windows yet, you may have to think about doing that first before you continue. So we're at 94% here. And this is my first YouTube video, or whichever platform you're watching this on. So I'm open to suggestions, corrective criticism. I mean, I don't get offended, so you can say whatever you want, what you think I should do something different. Okay, it looks like we're coming down the home stretch here. Restart in 10 seconds. Well, I want to restart now. Okay, there's a press any key to boot from CD message I was telling you about. Okay, this is the first boot, so it's going to set up all the registry keys and drivers and things to that nature. Although Microsoft doesn't really like to tell you what they're doing anymore, they just say getting ready. So we just have to trust that they're doing the right thing. But I've been doing this for a long time. I remember the old days where it would say installing new hardware, this may take a while. Loading the registry items, this may take a while. It would tell you what it was doing. Now it just says getting ready. And once it gets through this screen, it'll bring you to the initial setup page where you create an account. You can create a Microsoft account if you want. You can just create a local account. For this video, we're going to create a local account. You know, it's simple, easy, and you can always add a Microsoft account later. Okay, it needs another reboot. There's a press any key to boot from CD. And I'm also leaving the whole desktop in view intentionally, so that way you see what I'm doing, because I may not explain everything. At least I try to explain everything, but I may miss some. I may not explain something, and you might learn something else by watching this video. And there's another one of those Microsoft just a moment messages. It's almost like getting ready. Okay, here we go. We're in the United States. This is where the computer talks to you too, and you can shut that off. It may have been talking in this video and I didn't realize it because I didn't have the sound on. Okay, United States again. This is the keyboard layout. If you want to add another layout, you can do that, but we're going to skip for this video. Okay, because I chose Windows 10 Pro, they're asking if you want to use this for personal use or if you want to set up for an organization. The difference is the organization would connect it to a domain controller, which is also outside the scope of this video, but if you install the Pro version, you'll get asked this question. If you install the home version, it's just going to automatically set up for personal use, so you won't see this in the home version. So I'm going to click that, next. Okay, here's where they want you to make a Microsoft account. I don't want to do that. I want to click offline account in the bottom left corner here. Notice how they kind of put that out of sight. Okay, then they want to try to get you again. I want to do the limited experience. This is also another offline account button. Name is user. You can put in there whatever you want. Password. If you want to set a password, now's your chance. Otherwise, leave it blank, and it'll automatically log in. And that's what we're doing here. I like to tick all these things off because, less resources on the computer. Whether they actually work is beyond me. I didn't design the software. Okay, let Cortana help you get things done. I'm going to click Not Now. Okay, now we get the, after it says the greeting here, it'll bring us right to the desktop. Okay. At this screen, it's doing Windows updates in the background. Just catching up whatever from the CD, from the time the CD image was made until now. Hopefully it doesn't take too long since I downloaded the October version, but Microsoft likes to do their updates at the most inconvenient times if you're a Windows user, and they usually take a long time, which is what gave me the nudge to go over to Linux. And I'll do another video, how to install Linux on your computer. And I'll do one how to dual boot. Dual boot Windows and Linux operating systems. In case you're curious in that area as well. Almost there. Yay, we have a desktop. Okay, so now it's searching for the display driver. This is the normal routine. Okay, I'm going to close out of that because it's still going to do it in the background. Browse with Microsoft Edge, maybe later. Okay. Here's what Microsoft Edge is good for. You open it up. Although it's still doing stuff in the background. So it's going to take a little time. Hello. Sign in and sync your data. I don't want my data synced. I just want to open up Microsoft Edge. Anyway, while we're waiting for Microsoft Edge to open, let's go personalize this. Okay, they want you to activate Windows. So they won't let you change your background because of that. Let's go to Theme. Desktop icon settings. I like to put everything on the desktop. That way everything's right there. I don't have to go, oh, where's this PC at? Okay, I can take that CD out now. Alright, fresh install. The operating system uses about a little under 20 gigs, but that's with no software installed. Okay, now I'll open up Microsoft. There we go. Here's what Microsoft Edge is for. You download a browser of your choice, whether it's Brave, Firefox, Google Chrome. Once you do that, you never have to click on Edge again. Open file. This is kind of like what Internet Explorer used to be good for, downloading a web browser. I like Brave. It's pretty good. It blocks a lot of the tracking things and pop-ups and things like that, advertisements. I'm going to skip the tour, and then we can set this as a default browser if you like. So I'll show you how to do that. We go to Start, we go to Settings, and then we go to Apps, Default Apps. Okay, no, this is part of the tweaks I was going to tell you about. So the first tweak is we're putting a better browser in, or whatever you prefer. If you prefer Microsoft Edge, you can leave it alone. Okay, another tweak that you're going to do is we're going to go to right click on this PC. We're going to go to Properties. Oh no, they took away the properties in this version. Okay, that's not the window that's supposed to come up. It's not managed. Okay, well I can't show you it that way anymore. We're going to show you through Control Panel. We're going to go to Small Icons. Let me see if they have it in here. Let's see, System. No, they got it there too. Well, this is one of those things, like when they changed my computer to this PC, they changed my documents to user. Network used to be called Network Neighborhood years ago. Then it went to My Network Places, now it's Network. So anyway, I can't show you those tweaks just yet. So let's go ahead and type in, let's press the Windows logo key, and we're going to press the letter R. That'll bring up a run box. And we're going to type in services.msc. This is all the Microsoft services here. So I'm looking for one specifically called Windows Search. And the reason is this service bogs down the system tremendously because in the background it's indexing all the files on the hard drive. For the very, very rare occasion that you actually go down here and use this search bar. So Windows Search. Okay, Windows Search is right here. See, by default, it's on automatic. But what we're going to do is we're going to go right click on it and go to Properties. That'll bring you to this screen. We'll stop it. And we're going to change it to Manual. And what that means is it won't start unless you actually go down here and type something in the search box. But if you don't use the search box at all, you just go ahead and disable it. But we're going to leave it at Manual. Alright, so that's all done. That's the only thing you really got to mess around with in there. I have to figure out what they did with the old properties. Oh, that's the wrong one. Alright, so remember how I told you that you can enter in the product key later? I'm going to show you how to do that. If you right click and you go to Properties and you see this new Properties menu, we're going to scroll down and it will say change product key or upgrade your edition of Windows. So when you click on that, it'll bring you to the activation page. Change your product key. And then this is where you type in your product key. But because we already chose Windows 10 Pro as the installer, it's going to expect a Windows 10 Pro product key, or Windows 8 Pro or Windows 7 Pro. You can put any one of these product keys in here. If you have an old computer lying around that has Windows 7 Pro on it, punch it in, you're good to go. And you won't get that little message in the bottom right corner here. Actually, they don't have it here anymore. Okay, let me try it here. Nope, they got it there too. So it looks like the old properties window is completely gone. If I stumble across it, I'll have to make a video to show you those settings that I was going to change. Alrighty, so we can go ahead and delete that off of here if you don't want to look at it. The other thing I want to show you too, if you want to do a manual Windows updates, and this is good to know too in case you have to go to work or you have to go to school, or you know, nowadays with the coronavirus, if you have to have the computer ready for when you have to do a class or a meeting, you want to make sure that you do these updates because they do automatically run. And if you don't click update and security and check for updates, you know, at least a couple hours before your meeting, you might get stuck with a Windows update that happens to run right in the middle of your meeting. So it's good practice to keep it up to date. Microsoft doesn't let you disable them either like they did in the old days. And I do have the active hour settings here too, so you can put that in. But if your computer is off outside of these active hours, it won't do the updates until the computer's on. So you could get caught up in a 30-minute update when your class starts in 5 minutes, or your meeting, whatever you have, whatever your schedule is. So anyway, that concludes this video. If you made it this far into the video, please subscribe to my channel for my future videos. You know, like the video, comment on it, donate. I'll have some cryptocurrency links in the description. I'm working on a Patreon account now, and you know, help me out, because I got to I'm in the beginning phase here, and I want to replenish my money supply for all the equipment that I invested in. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'll learn more. I'll be more confident in the videos once I get the swing of things. And I guess we'll leave it at there. So now that the updates, actually it says installing and it says restart now. So anyway, if you click restart now, the computer restarts. So let's go ahead and do that and see what a Windows update looks like on a restart. And since we're on this subject, when you if you don't do the updates automatically, when you click start shutdown, or actually it's, you know, it used to be start, but now it's the little Windows logo. If you click the Windows logo start button and you click the power button symbol and you click shutdown, if there's updates downloaded already, when you hit shutdown, that's when it'll start to install the updates. Once those updates are running, maybe it takes about a half hour or so, and then the computer will eventually shut down. And then the next time you go to turn the computer on, it might get stuck another half hour configuring the updates that were downloaded. So that's what I mean by getting caught in a Windows update. If you turn your computer on 5 minutes before your meeting, your phone, your Zoom call, whatever you're planning on, it could be a while. If it's doing updates, it could be a while before you can actually get to the point where you can use your computer. So that's about all. Thank you for watching. You enjoy the rest of your day.